How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Metroplex Bass Addicts video. We really appreciate you guys being here. This video is going to be kind of all over the place, but it's going to cover the 2 days of official practice for the TTO Outdoors Championship that we utilized, Wednesday and Thursday, and then day one of the tournament, which ended up being the only day of the tournament that we actually fished, and we'll get into all that later. But yeah, 3 days of fishing. Day one of practice, Ian and I split up. So I practiced in my boat, he practiced in his, tried to cover as much water as possible. So that'll be the first couple clips. You'll see me in my boat, Ian and his for day one of practice on Wednesday. Day two of practice on Thursday, we came back and fished together in Ian's boat. And you'll see that. And then you'll see day one of the tournament. And we're obviously in Ian's boat fishing together for that as well. So kind of a crazy week on Ray Roberts. A lot happened, a lot changed. Didn't have necessarily the outcome we were hoping for, but you'll have to stay tuned and kind of see the progression of what we found out through practice and the tournament and see how we ended up. So really appreciate you guys being here. Let's get into it.
I think I like it.
Alright guys, my first one of the day. Decent little guy on the gravel dog. See if I can I'm gonna see if he's a keeper. Alright guys, he is a keeper, 15 incher. Not a bad fish. Take it. Oops. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna leave this rock pile. Not anything huge, but it's another keeper. Ate the jig. Number two. Barely a keeper, but it kept.
bow behind me, so I don't want to show the camera too much, but it's a solid 3-pounder. Solid 3.5 pounder. It had me wrapped up in a tree. He hit it. I didn't actually know I had a fish on it first until I started feeling him pull back. Thought it was just snagged. Gonna try to get a weight on this guy and then we'll go from there. But solid fish.
All right, guys. So as you saw, overall, decently tough day one of practice. There was a couple fish that both of us caught that I omitted. I'm gonna be omitting a couple fish from each day that's featured in this video, just for the sake of time, for how long this video is going to be with our 2 practice days and 1 tournament day on here. But really just put in the good ones. Ian did catch 1 keeper in the morning on the same island I was fishing, on the other side of it, off camera. That was about a 1.5 or 2 pounder. And then I caught those 2 keepers off of a rock pile on the other side of that island on the gravel dog 8 and a jig. One was about 2 pounds, one was about 1.25 pounds to 1.5 pounds. It was barely a keeper. And then Ian caught those 2 better ones up in the creeks. And basically our plan for day 1 of practice was splitting up. I stayed basically from Wolf Island south and kind of fished that middle section of the lake from Wolf Island to the dam, and then a little bit around the west side and just kind of all those pockets and arms and all the offshore flats and points and stuff in that area. My main goal was to try and find stuff offshore or see if there's any kind of bite going on in any of the creeks down there and some of the rockier, sandier creeks, and just kind of look for fish in transition or see where the bait was and see if I could find some fish following the bait around for the fall feed. So I spent a lot of time scanning, looking in that mid-depth range, like 8 to 15 feet offshore. That's what that rock pile that I caught the 2 pretty early on in the morning was in. It's in about 8 feet of water. And that's kind of what I did. Like I said, caught 1 or 2 other shorts, but those 2 keepers that I caught off that rock pile were the only 2 good fish I caught all day. Ian's plan, especially because he has more trails on his graph, we kind of game planned him to go up into the creeks, all the creeks along the northeast corner of the lake, and look around in the grass flats and on some channel swing banks with some rock points or some timber, and just see if he could find some bigger fish in any of that, grass or timber up there. And then he also did scan a couple of the flats, kind of at the mouths of those creeks, looking for pond dams or house foundations or anything different on them that might be holding fish. So he caught those 2 bigger ones, the 3 and a 3.5, and then, like I said, he caught 1 keeper in the morning on the same island I was on, just on the other side. That was about pound and a half or 2 pounds. So overall, our best 5 combined that day would have been about 11 pounds, which isn't much, especially on Ray Roberts, but based on how the tournament ended up shaking out, it actually would have been a pretty good bag to have. So that's day 1 of practice. Now let's roll into day 2. Fucking beaver dam.
Yeah. God dang, that's a good one. Sure. Not bad. Change. Actually. Yeah. What's he on now? Just that rock. Good shelf. Nothing. Yeah. Love that. Brush. Pattern. Not a terrible fish to start the morning. I've also had like 4 blow-ups on a buzzbait in our starting spot this morning. Could be worse. Yeah, it could be a lot worse. It's like the cup before the storm. Like the little pre-rain to let everyone know what's actually happening. Yep. That little stock. That one. That one. Go to net him. Got him. Yeah. It's just near to the stomach for me. It's getting heavier. Awesome. Love that for us. Well, it's starting to rain on us, but another solid fish. That's a 5-pounder. That's close. Probably at least 4 at least, yeah. Heavy. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Solid fish. Pretty quickly after Tristan just caught that one.
Alright guys, so as you saw, day 2 of practice was a little bit more eventful than day 1. Caught a few bigger fish. I believe we just showed you the 4 biggest keepers we caught that day. We did end up catching 5 keepers on day 2 of practice. One of them was off camera though, really early in the morning. But and we had several bites. I had 4 or 5 bites on a buzzbait in our starting spot that just got off. That and then I caught one that was a keeper. So then Ian caught that first good one, and then after that we caught a couple more. Basically our best 5 that day. Second day of practice ended up being right around 13 to 13 and a half pounds. Still, just like day one, 2.5 pounds bigger. Still not a great bag on Ray Roberts by any means. Ray Roberts has a lot of big fish, but like I said, even for day one with the 11 pounds, would have ended up being a really good bag to have in this tournament. If we had 11 and 13 to 13 and a half, the first, in the 2 days of the tournament, like we did in practice, I think we would have cut a check. 11 to 13, yeah, that would have been about 24 and a half pounds. We would have been right on the edge of cutting a check. So we were around the right fish in practice. We had a couple decent patterns going, and we were excited. We thought we really had something good. So we didn't practice the third day. The weather was supposed to be really bad, so bad that TTO actually canceled their mandatory pre-tournament meeting they have every year before the first day of the championship because of the weather forecast. So we just stayed home, slept in, and then woke up a little later and got all of our rods, reels, tackle, line, camera gear, everything that we needed to get ready for the tournament day and the tournament and filming the tournament. We got it all ready. That's what we spent Friday doing. The weather ended up not being that bad and we could have gone, but by the time we woke up and found that out, it was too late to really make going an hour to the lake worth it from Ian's house. So we just stuck with the plan and got all of our rods and reels and tackle and camera stuff ready, got our minds right, formulated a game plan for the tournament, and decided to send it on 2 days of practice. So practice portion of this video is over. Now we're going to show you day one of the tournament. So let's get into it.
I got a little bit de-juiced overnight. I've noticed that they do actually just lose some power just doing it. Oh. See? And then those kinds of stuff. It's almost like you're putting it into the top of the hollow stuff and the other hook caught like the stump and ripped it out of his mouth. 2.
Chubby spot. That was quick. It's a keeper, I think. He should keep. I'm gonna back us out. All day. Number 3. Yeah. Go. Very least should be able to get a fit on my rock pile on number 4 potentially. Or forward. Not to say that there's not fish that live around this island, because there obviously is. And it's really flat, so it kind of makes sense for fall. But it's not like, this is not the most like, wow, we're going to smack them here in the fall kind of spot.
No.
Or really any time of year. I think it's just that literally no one has thrown a lure here.
Yeah, I was just kind of hoping like some of the fish from the dam.
Yeah. This point is interesting. Or 2. And if we could get a 5th one halfway quickly, like that, that's a spot now.
That might be a spot.
That's what I thought. Tried to do it to me. Not gonna help. All right, everyone. So as you saw, a pretty tough day for us. Day 1 of the TTO Championship on Lake Gray Roberts. We had 4 keepers for 5.85 pounds. We never got our 5th keeper bite, and we never got a big one or 2. Just absolutely brutal. I left that last fish catch in that little dinky largemouth to kind of show you what we were dealing with. We probably caught 10 to 12 fish, just like that. Little non-keeper largemouth throughout the day. Whether we were fishing in 2 feet of water or 22 feet of water, it didn't really matter. We fished all kinds of stuff, main lake offshore stuff, rocky points, gravel points, rock piles, brush piles, secondary points inside creeks, creek channel swing banks with rock and timber, shoreline grass, clay points. Like, we literally did everything we knew to try for the fall, and especially for fall fishing on Lake Gray Roberts, and everything that we kind of found in practice. We fished through all of our grass stuff we found in practice that we were catching them on real good first thing in the morning, and never got a bite, other than I think I had one blow up on a spook that was small. Then we fished the islands. A little rock pile produced 2 of our keepers, and then the random island down by the dam that we didn't even practice produced our last 2. And we probably caught 6 or 8 fish off just that island, but only 2 keepers. So just covered water, fished as much different stuff and as many different depth zones and as many different types of covers as we knew to, and just tried to put something together, but never really got what we needed. Probably fished 25 or 30 spots. We really did cover a bunch of water, and we stayed in it the best we could. But that's how it goes sometimes, just wasn't our week. But yeah, 5.85 pounds on 4 keepers. We were in 51st or 53rd, something like that, out of 87. And then later that night, we had a Halloween party that Ian's girlfriend was throwing at her house. My fiance drove over to Louisville, and we all were hanging out there. So that party ended up going a little bit late, and Ian and I did the math. At 5.85 pounds, we would have needed I think we said 22 pounds, based on the way weights were day one, to realistically have a shot at cashing a check, and like 40 to 42 to win. And we just knew we weren't around that caliber of fish, and really didn't have any clue what to do to even put ourselves in position to even cash a check. And we needed content, you know, that was the other thing. Like, we wanted better content for you guys here on the channel than us just catching a bunch of dinks on Ray Roberts and sucking it up. So all that combined, you know, we decided not to fish day 2. We hate to quit on a tournament like that. We try not to ever do that, try not to ever quit halfway through, but this time it just realistically made sense for us. And, you know, we ended up fishing Louisville the next day and doing pretty well and getting a much better video than another day of Ray Roberts fishing most likely would have been. So that'll be coming out soon, that Louisville video. We have that one and a boat arc video coming out soon. And then we'll have all of the content from the solo series on Lake Louisville coming out soon. And then the solo series on Squaw Creek. So lots of great content coming. We're still going to be posting once a week until the very end of the year, hopefully beyond that. Members only side of things, still posting at least probably 1 to 2 times a month over there. We'll have a recap of everything we found in practice and during this tournament, everything we did that you guys just watched. We'll have, you know, the waypoints and the spots and what we found and what worked and what didn't on the members only channel. So if you guys haven't checked out the members only side, definitely go check it out. We give out the juice over there. But yeah, tough tournament, tough championship. Really thought this was going to be the one that we finally cracked the top 10 in the championship. Last year we were so close, but, you know, just wasn't in the cards for us this time. So trust the plan, trust the process, work hard, learn from it, and move on. That's all you can do. So that's what we're going to do. And appreciate you guys watching.
I got the bread and I got the juice. I got some dogs and I let them loose. Bring in the storm and this ain't the Zeus. Walk in the skies but this ain't the loop. This ain't the cruise. We ain't the same, you ain't have a clue. I'm in the game and untouchable, cause I got the flame and this is the proof. Loading my tote, I still want all the smoke. We ain't talking about jokes, we just talking about more. I see all of my goals and it's looking like gold. I ain't asking for hope cause I